Temple Tour, narrated by me, Rabbi Cohn, in 5 minutes. It's a mission that some, my own children and our staff, say cannot be done. We'll call it a quick temple tour with Rabbi Mark. Mission impossible. So let's go. Our original building was built in 1950, added onto in the 1970s, and in the early 2000s, a new building and a large parking lot paved to create our sanctuary and social hall building. Both buildings are very reflective of their respective eras, designed in large part for their modern look, a hallmark of many Reform synagogues, as well as in smaller part, though, and not inconsequential, to the anti-Semitism that resulted from the Leo Frank case in Atlanta in the early part of the 20th century. The original building, which we call the Education Building, houses our offices as well as our classrooms for an active and nurturing temple religious school and temple preschool. What was the sanctuary is now the Lamed Center, a recently renovated space that we use for preschool Shabbat, board meetings, various teachings, including showing movies on a full-size screen, as well as all sorts of fun for our religious school, from prayer to dancing. Artwork inside the Education Building includes stained glass from the original design, an illustrated Book of Esther from our online COVID Purim of 2021, and of course, confirmation pictures. Outside the building displays subtly our temple's name and a critically important quote from Isaiah, "My house shall be a house of prayer for all people," which serves as a mantra for us and often as our opening Shabbat song as well, Ki Beiti, Beit Tfilah Yikarei Chol Ha'amim. The sanctuary and social hall building houses a host of artwork, which helps us live into Winston-Salem's nickname of City of the Arts. We have stained glass designed by local artists, nearly all who are non-Jewish and from North Carolina. Our journey sculpture greets members and guests with abstract and concrete representations of the Jewish journey that is forever cyclical, with times of great strength and stability, to moments or eras that are horribly fragmented, with us barely holding on. There are signs of life and decay, encouraging hope and gathering, as well as fear and hardship. We proudly hold and learn from our Czech Torah that comes from a town, Klatovy, and was one of nearly a dozen that survived the horrors of Nazi evil from that town, which sadly cannot be said for the vast majority of our fellow Jews of the small Czechoslovakia town murdered by the Nazis. The stained glass that features prominently in our sanctuary is all by Betty Petnati Lanjanati, who created the windows at different times spanning 25 years based on the desires of the congregation. From the holidays described in Torah to the ritual objects worn in prayer to the cycles of life, the windows provide inspiration and beauty to our congregation's central space for gathering. The parochet for our ark leads us to what is central in Jewish life, the tree of life, Torah. Our most recent addition to our sanctuary and social hall building is a 5-paneled mural that depicts the role of people, and namely our hands in creating Jewish meaning and moments in our everyday, from blessing children to braiding challah, reading our sacred text to reading history and interpretation. With the Torah open widely are the words from Deuteronomy, Baruch atah b'vo'echa u'baruch atah b'tzeitecha. Blessed are you in your coming in, and blessed may you be in your going out, which welcome us and remind us of blessings that abound and that we hope to bring blessing in our deeds and words with us wherever we go. The scroll in the lower corner is intentionally unfinished, based on a rabbinic teaching that we leave a corner of our entry incomplete, to remind us to both mourn the destruction of the temples of old in Jerusalem, and to work in our lives to repair the brokenness that exists in our world. Our sanctuary faces significantly and importantly toward Jerusalem to remind us that while we are proudly American Jews, we unite with our people throughout the diaspora to be connected with the land and people, our brothers and sisters, often literally, of the modern state of Israel. Behind our building is a menorah that we illuminate during Hanukkah for ourselves and our neighborhood. This menorah gives both name to the valley, or back hill as we sometimes call it, but its story reminds us of the Jewish presence in this area for over a century, and having been a light to fellow Jews and integral in the larger community as individuals who serve as civic leaders, philanthropists, business leaders, teachers, a full range of medical, academic, and scientific doctors, and so very much more. I could actually go on for hours, and in the unedited version, I think I did. Mission impossible in 5 minutes? Well, maybe nearly possible. Here's a mission that is possible: to explore and find your place in the richness and fullness of our synagogue, and namely our Jewish community in North Carolina. Just be aware, our synagogue community is about to celebrate its 90th birthday. So clearly, thank God, it's been a long story, and please God will be even longer in good health, with much joy and loving kindness.
Tor vador, le tor vador, le tor vador.